How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Manatee Gaming. So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about bonds because that is one of the hottest topics in the game right now, just because Jagex has recently announced the fact that they're going to be changing the price of bonds and membership, which has made the price of bonds in the game a little screwy. So I'm here to explain what's going on and also maybe give you a little bit of insight as to what you can do about it, and also try to help you prevent from making like any mistakes because there's quite a bit of things you could be doing right now with bonds. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get on into it. So bonds, why do people buy them, and how are the prices decided in the first place? So number one thing I want to throw out there is that there are a lot of people in the game that think that the Grand Exchange price of bonds is actually controlled by Jagex. They're not. Remember that the price of bonds in the Grand Exchange are controlled by players. So when they go up or they go down, it's not Jagex deciding how much GP they're worth. There's a surprising number of people that think that Jagex controls that. They do not. So the next thing is, what does control that? And that is going to be supply and demand, just like anything else in the game. Basically the supply is determined by the number of people actually buying in real life money bonds, because that's the only way they actually come in the game, is when people spend in real life money on them, and then those bonds get put into the Grand Exchange and they go up for sale. That's how the supply increases. That's how the overall volume increases, and so that is another big determining factor of how much they're worth. What does the new news have to do with bonds? Well, it has obviously a lot to do with bonds, but how does it going to affect bonds? You've probably already seen a little bit about it. In the last couple days, they've been selling for as much as 17.5 million, is up to 18 million. I've heard some people tell me that they sold for over 20. I don't know about that, but I do know that they did hit 18. At the same time, when the announcement was made, I didn't really panic about it. I was just like, okay, well, let's see what we can buy bonds for. And I've been able to buy them between 14 and 15 million since it was announced. It took a little bit longer right when it was announced because people were super hyped about it. But now, today, it's actually very easy to buy bonds at 14 million each. At the same time, you can still sell them for like 17. So it's what it's essentially done is it's made the market really screwy on bonds right now. If you are looking into flipping opportunities, then bonds really aren't that bad, because worst case scenario, you can always just use them on your own. I would just be very careful if you're somebody who is interested in flipping bonds. I would just be very, very cautious if you've never done it before, because in order to make them tradable, you do have to pay 10% of the GE price and then put them back in the GE to sell. The problem with that is if you buy up a whole bunch of bonds and you pay that cost on a bunch of bonds, that's several million gold that you're going to be investing into making them tradable, and if they don't sell for the price you're looking for, then you're going to end up losing money. So you want to be very, very, very careful about doing that. If you want to try flipping bonds, I'd highly recommend that you first just buy one bond, make it tradable, and then try to flip it for a profit. Obviously, remember to keep in mind how much you spent on the 10% exchange rate and stuff like that. That way that you can actually know that you're making profit. Something else with that too is even if you have done one and you were like, okay, that was a successful flip, then you want to make sure that you don't overinvest into more of them. Like, don't buy a whole bunch of them and then end up getting screwed because you only sell a certain number of them. So that's what about flipping bonds. Now, a little bit more about how I predict that the bond prices are going to change. So I think, first of all, that it's a little bit overly hyped. If you look at the price of the bonds increase, the price of membership increase and everything, it's not that substantial. It's actually, it's like $1 more for a bond. The price of membership is like, not much more. If you haven't read about the price changes for membership and everything like that, then you can just look on the Runescape homepage and you'll be able to find out information about that. I'm not really going to go over it. You can just look over there. But the thing is, though, is the price of bonds, I don't think it's going to be as dramatic as people are thinking with the hype and everything. Like, before this announcement, you were able to buy bonds for as low as like 13.3 million, 13.5 million. And I know that because I actually just bought a few right before the announcement. And then now, even with the announcement going, and it's been a couple days now, they're easily buying at 14, like very, very quickly. So I don't think that it's going to be like a sustained hype as much as some people think. Some people are like, oh man, I got to hurry up and buy bonds or I'm never going to be able to get them again. That's definitely not true. So I do encourage you not to panic about it. if anything, it's just what it'll end up doing is it'll just make the average price of bonds maybe slightly higher. But there is one thing, and I'm not going to try to get too in depth with this, but the concept of figuring this out is based like proper pricing. Think about this in like in real life term, okay? So if I price my cheeseburgers at $9 each, and I have 10,000 cheeseburgers selling every month, if they're good cheeseburgers and people still like them, and then I try to sell those same cheeseburgers for $10, will I still sell 10,000? Maybe. It might be because maybe $9 was underpriced to begin with, and in that case 10,000 is still going to sell. It's the exact same concept with bonds. If people still find value at the new price as much as they found value at the last price, then the total number of people buying bonds is not going to change, and the only way the price is actually going to be sustainably higher is if there are less bonds coming into the game. So keep that in mind when you try to, like, if you're one of those people that's like, oh my god, hype, 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 we have to buy bonds. I would just do some deep consideration there, and just look into stuff like that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you have more questions about bonds or anything like that, you can feel free to just leave in the comments below, and I'll be sure to respond to you. You can also check out our Discord in the Discord link in the description below. We have over 1,300 members in the Discord now, and it's always a great time in there. We do voice chat, all kinds of stuff. There's lots of bots to use. You can even catch Pokemon in our chat. It's pretty fun. So if you want a cool place to go meet new people, then feel free to join. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. You have a good one.